Hey, it's MK, and I am here with another Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, and this is the sketch that we will be creating with today. It is a sketch by Sean Lahr. I actually loved this 2-page layout, but I am going to show you guys how I alter it when I don't have enough photos. So this time I only have 6 photos to work with, and of course, again, they're all printed in 4x6 because that's the only thing that I print in. From Scrap and Happy Studio, I have a couple epoxy flares to work with. Yum, it's s'mores. As well as this set right here that was just a good, it's a good usable set and in all my favorite colors, brown. I also have this wood veneer set from Some Assemblage Required. Don't forget to peel that cover off so you get this beautiful soft wood underneath. There's always a masking, and it is also self-adhesive, or I should say adhesive. I don't know if about self-adhesive, but adhesive on the back, so don't forget about that. From a cut-apart sheet that I received, it was in a paper pack. I went ahead and took the s'mores and the roasted marshmallows. I also have from a Doodlebug camping set. Look, no faces, none. I love this set. So I picked out all of the s'mores pieces and whatnot. And then from the Simple Stories Lakeside collection, I picked out a couple foam thicker word icon things, as well as made my title from Simple Stories Color Vibes Wood Grain. And then I'm going to end up changing my mind later. I also have this scrap of, I think it's a wood grain. I don't really know. From the same set as the cut apart, but I don't really remember what it was called, and I apologize about that. Now, from Echo Park, Call of the Wild, I have this beautiful green plaid that's got these gorgeous stars on the back, and then this wood grain that's almost hand drawn, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then it's got this beautiful plaid on the other side as well. I'm going to use the wood grain as well as this green plaid for my layout. And then from a Halloween paper pack that's all craft, I'm just going to use the craft. I actually very rarely use the Halloween part of it, but I love having a stack of craft cardstock to work with. And of course it's going to be a 2-page layout, so I have 2 pieces of white cardstock to work with, but you won't even see them in the end. So what I'm going to do, because I don't have, I don't know, I'm counting how many pieces, I think 9 photos. I don't have those 9 photos. I only have 6. So I'm going to make it work by replacing the horizontal or the vertical photo over on the far right with a horizontal photo. And then instead of having 3 small, I think they're 5x3 photos, I'm only going to have 3 4x4s, and then completely ignore the 4x4s over at the top and just use 2 4x6s. So that's how it's going to be arranged. And now I'm looking for a brown. So I went ahead and trimmed all my photos and whatnot, and I'm looking for a brown ink to ink all of my edges. And then from the leftover craft, I went ahead and made a ripped border. Just took my 2-inch piece that I had left over and ripped it in half. That's all that I did. And then I'm going to plan on adding it to the top of my layout. Now, also adding to the top of my layout, I'm going to use this, I think it's a wood grain. I'm going to use this printed cardstock as what is representing the stripes in the sketch at the top and the bottom. So those will be at the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and just take this wood grain as well as that green piece and cut them at 6 inches each. I just don't know if I want the wood grain going up and down or left and right. I know that when I turn it, because one piece goes across the page and the other piece goes up and down the page, I know when I turn it, I will have it they'll be going in 2 different directions. But what I'm saying is see, do I want it to run the long way or the short way when it's going, I don't know. It's hard to explain, you guys. I just needed to know which way I wanted the grain to go, and I figured it out. I do want the grain to go up and down because I didn't want it to go lengthwise. It just wouldn't have looked good. All right, so that is the gist of the layout. I'm going to go ahead and glue all those pieces down. Now, here's where I didn't like the s'mores part. It was an alpha set that I had available in my little basket. I'm not too impressed with it. I don't like how the E is bigger than all the rest of the letters. So I went to my stash and pulled out some CBL30Days from Close to My Heart. I showed you guys the number if you guys want to look it up. I don't know if they're still available or not. And if you type in that number in eBay, usually it comes up if you're looking for it, if it is retired. All right, I also pulled out this ribbon that is also from my stash. It's actually just sitting here on my desk waiting to be used, and it was the leftovers of something and the last little bit, so use it up. I'm tired of having this stuff hanging out on my desk. So I'm going to just go ahead and add it where the sketch actually says that there's stitched lines, and I didn't have time for stitching, to be honest. Stitching would have looked really cool on this layout, but I didn't have time. So I'm going to go ahead and just use this ribbon in place of the stitching. It still gives me that texture that the stitching would have given me as well. And again, I'm going to use some liquid adhesive for a more permanent stick, and then the washi tape is going to serve as my fingers while the glue dries. So that is the only thing that I'm doing with the washi tape. And then of course I put it on crooked at the bottom, so I'm going to have to cut down that washi tape. And there you have it. So then I'm going to do the same thing going across, only this time I have a little bit left over. So I'm going to actually tie that into a knot because I'm going to make a little border going across the top of my photos, just as an added little cutesy tootsie thing, because they do have in the sketch something above those two photos. It's like she says it's a 4-inch circle, which I'm assuming is supposed to be a photo with a whole bunch of other circles and stars and whatnot. And so I'm just going to have the ingredients for s'mores dance across in a border type fashion. So I think that's going to be a cool effect. At least that's what I have in my brain. I'm not really sure. And then instead of my 3 photos going straight up and down, I decided to do them over on the right page. I decided to do them in a wonky line because I wanted more of that green showing. I didn't want a solid line of just photos. Also, from my stash, I had this leftover washi. It looks like a map. I cut it a long time ago, and I mean like a long time ago. So I just threw that on the layout just for something, no significance whatsoever, except for the fact that we are doing s'mores in our backyard, in our fire pit, because of the fact that we just got back from a camping trip. This is the summer of 2021, and we just got back from a camping trip, and the nighttime weather up where we were camping was horrible. We spent the rest of our nights, we spent 2 nights there, and both of those nights, sad to say, were in the tents because it just got so nasty and so windy that you could not be outside. We huddled in the tents and waited until morning. The days were beautiful all the way up until we were having dinner, and then all of a sudden the wind would kick up and it was just plain awful. So we weren't able to start a fire at all. In fact, our dinner, thank goodness, was on Bunsen burners. And so we were able to get those cooked up in spurts out in that weather. But yeah, we brought the s'mores home. And so we decided that once we were done putting the camping goodies away and everything and settled in and getting baths and showers and whatnot and getting ourselves cleaned up, then we went out for s'mores. And the boys invited a friend over who missed them so much that as soon as he saw the truck pull in, he was like, "Oh, can you guys come out and play?" So we told him that, no, we're going to shower up. We just got home, blah, blah, blah. So we invited him over for some s'mores. So, and actually in between this double page layout is an insert, a pocket page insert of the actual kids cooking their s'mores as well as their friend and whatnot. And I will be creating that layout as well, and I will take all the other elements that I did not end up using on this page, will be for that page. And then I have other s'mores layouts to come from 2021 as well. So we ate a lot of s'mores that year, and we didn't hardly eat any last year, so that was just weird. But anyways, so I divvied up the supplies and used only some, since this was the ingredients as well as the fire pit, and not necessarily the kids. I decided that's the icons that I was going to go for, and then of course Fun Times was the canvas flare that I chose from Happy Scrappy Studio. And then I've got these words, just another one that says good times instead of fun times. And I'm going to add that into my border up above, just so that way it fills in that little border that I'm trying to create a little bit better than what I was doing. And then I can't remember what that green sticker says. I apologize. Something about summer fun or something, summer living. I don't really remember. But I do like how it fills it in. And then of course the arrows add a little bit more of that green and red or orangey red to the border as well. So I think it's a good touch. There's a little bit of that red inside the fires in both the flare as well as the cut apart fire. I didn't use the wood fire because it was just a little too squatty. I wanted something that was like flaming like our barbecue, or not barbecue pit, but our fire pit is when it began. And then here pretty soon I decided that I'm going to outline the word backyard. Just because of the fact that I just felt like it did not stick out like it should at all. So I wanted to make sure that that was outlined. And then really the only wood piece that I added was the let's get toasted. So, let's do this. So there's the little outlining that I did, and that is my layout for today. Just wanted to share that with you guys. I did have fun with this sketch. It is so super simple, taking two pieces, and what a way to use up your paper as well. So if you guys wanted to definitely make a whole bunch of these base pages using just papers that you really like together and then adding those little borders. I mean, what a great sketch this was. I had a blast. Thank you so much, Sean, for sharing this sketch with us today. Please be sure to check out the links down below. One is a playlist for all of those that are creating with these sketches. And then the next one is the Facebook group where everyone is sharing what they are creating with these sketches within an album. So anyways, thank you so much, and I will check y'all later. Bye.